Hey crafty people, welcome back to my channel, and in case you're new here, I'm Sarah, also known as Craft Nerd because I'm a nerd who loves to craft. I do paper crafting, card making, junk journaling, and mixed media art. Let's get crafting! Oh, welcome back. So I've got another junk mail envelope project for you today. And so I took two junk mail envelopes and made flip out pockets on this side. And I did use a magnet because with covering them with the printables that I used to cover them up, it made it kind of bulky so that the flaps weren't staying down. So I did add a little magnet behind here and behind the little trick or treat. But we've got a pocket here. Let me grab a tag, and of course the dog now wants in. So we got a pocket here and a pocket here. And when I attach this, I put it on as a little tuck spot. And let me go let him in. I believe these printables are, and the backgrounds are Polka Art Studio, and this label and the ones on this side are Citrus Journal Studio. I'll double check. I'll leave links to them down below. And this is my Porch Prints. And then on the opposite side, I attached the flaps down and created 4 pockets. So we've got a pocket all the way in the back. We've got a pocket here, and I attached it so that there's a pocket here and a pocket here. And I probably should have put thumb notches in my pockets and didn't think to. I may try and go back and do that, and I'll try and remember this time around. So that's what we're creating today. I am obviously working on Halloween journals because I'm doing that fair. I've mentioned before in October, and so I need to get my Halloween journals done before then. So I'm doing this in a Halloween-y theme, but you of course can do whatever theme you like. Will work for anything. And I've grabbed these 2 envelopes. Are the same 2 envelopes. I don't know where they're from, but I was like, I kind of like the background on here because it goes with the color schemes for Halloween. And I'm like, they're fairly plain, so the little bit, not entirely identical because that's got some stuff on the back, but the little bit of writing that's on there I can cover up with washi or some decorations. So I'm not going to actually fully cover these. I'm going to leave them as is. I am, however, going to add some distress ink to color them so they're not white. So I'm just going to grab a brush, a piece of scrap paper to protect my desk, and I'm just going to go to town covering this with ink. So I'll show you a little bit, speed it up. And I'm gonna use I think milled lavender because I've got some purples, and I'm planning on using this washi tape which I picked up at Michael's. So I think that color will work best, and I'm just gonna cover the whole thing purple, and then I can take a damp cloth and wipe the distress ink off the windows. I don't have to worry about it. Oh, and before I went on camera, I did trim the top up so that it was nice and clean, and cut them down perfectly to 4 inches tall because the US like business letter size envelopes tend to be like a hair over 4 inches tall, and they run about 9.5 inches long. So yeah, I'm just gonna cover both of them, front, back, completely. And you'll notice this actually has some ribbed texture to it, so the inking's bringing out those lines. I really kind of like this. So yeah, I'm just gonna do this and I'll be back. Okay, so we are all inked up, and I didn't go all the way to the end on the other side because we're gonna glue this half down to our page. And so now I'm gonna grab my scoreboard just to help out a little bit, and I'm gonna score both of them at 5 inches is what I decided I liked for creating the pocket, because since I use US letter size paper folded in half, my pages are 5.5 by 8.5, and if I go much more than 5, it's going to put too much bulk towards my spine. So we're going to score this at 5. And just fold. Ooh, those windows are so big. We're gonna score a little bit over so that we don't have the windows. So we're gonna go, it's gonna be a little longer than I would like just because those windows are so big, but it should still be all right. Because it's not gonna touch, you know, it's not gonna be all the way to the edge. It's gonna be close, but it should still be okay once it's sewn into the journal. So we've got that one. Let's do it on this side. Can I do it at a quarter? Actually, I can. Maybe I'll adjust that one since I can get it at a quarter. And that's gonna cause this part to buckle up weird. All right, so we'll do 3/8. Did not realize. And I inked the wrong half of the back on this one. So I'm gonna have to go back and ink that here in a second. Cause yeah, I'm gonna wanna do that before we assemble. But this is basically what we're gonna do is layer them like so. And then we'll have our layer pockets on the back side. So let me go ahead and ink this correctly so that we can get to assembling. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I've gone back and inked the correct side. Now it's just a matter of deciding whether I want to put them on this page or this page. And I think the last one I did on this side of the page. So let's do this one on this side. Now, of course, you could fold it the other way so that you can put them on, you know, where the flipping out from here, kind of thing. But since I've got the windows, I want to fold it so that I can take advantage of our windows. Now, before we go any further, let's put some notches in the tops on this side so that I don't forget to do it. So I'm just taking, this is a 1.5 inch circle punch, and I'm just going to put it in a little bit of the way and notch that out and do the same thing over here. I also think I am going to go along, there's that like white line here that's kind of bugging me, so I think I'm going to grab some gray ink and just ink that white line so it's not showing. Because yeah, I don't love the spots where the white line shows. So let's grab some hickory smoke. Okay, got some hickory smoke distress oxide. That'll work. And we're just gonna go in and add a little bit, just enough to knock back any white that might show. Ooh, and I'm getting ink all over here. Let's clean that up real quick. All right, now that we've done that, let's go ahead and glue our pockets on. So let's start with the first one. And we're gonna flip this over and we are going to add glue along the edge and along this edge. Actually, before we do that, let's go in and make sure all of our parts of our envelope are glued down, so when we put stuff in our pockets, we don't have to worry about things catching on pieces that aren't quite glued down all the way. All right, so let's put our first one down, and we're gonna glue, as I was saying, down this side, across the bottom, and up the top. Now, if you want to make the back pocket really tall, you could also just glue down one side and down the other. Maybe I'll do that for this one. So you can put something that'll go all the way to the bottom end. And if you notice, my hands are a little grayish in color. I was tea dyeing some stuff earlier today, which always means I have interesting colored hands for a couple days after, because I don't bother wearing gloves. Now, I'm using art glitter glue. You can use whatever your preferred glue is, but for doing something like this, you're gonna want a precision glue, you know, one in fine tip bottles so that you can get it, so that your pocket is as opened as possible. So we've got that one on, and then this one we're just gonna layer on top of that. Go about there-ish. And again, this one we're definitely going to glue all the way to the bottom because that's going to be the closure for both of these back pockets. I'm just going to hold it for a second till it grabs. And so there we go. We've got our flip out and our flip out. Now that's definitely going to need something to cover it up, but for the rest of it, I'm pretty happy with how it looks. I don't necessarily need to cover those bits up. And this side, I don't know. I may put like a label down here or something for decoration, but it doesn't need much in the way of decorating. So that's what we're gonna do next. So let's start with covering this up. And I'm just gonna grab this washi. Ooh, that is not gonna work because you're gonna see it right through the washi. Let's see, what can we do? Definitely want to just put a strip of paper maybe, and then put the washi on top. That might work. Let's see. If I do a strip of jaggedy paper, it's torn off a book page, and then we do that. That actually I think will work, and I think I'm gonna go all the way across with my piece of paper and the washi, so have it go all the way to the edge. And then I'll do it down here as well so that they kind of mirror each other. I think that will work. I'm having a think. Because we could turn it into a belly band. Let's do that. Let's do that. So I'm gonna want some thicker paper to do that. Let me find something. I think that'll work. And my washi is, let's see how wide our washi is. 1/2 inch. So let's cut off 2 strips 1/2 inch wide. There's some things this little trimmer is great for, cutting smaller pieces like this and not so much. I think that'll get me 1/2 inch. Perfect. So we're just gonna, wrong washi, this one I want to use, and I'm gonna do that and grab a glue stick to run it along, and I'm gonna cut now. Let's just tear it off and we'll wrap around. Just to add an extra bit of sticky to my paper. I'm gonna run this over the glue stick. Oop. And that can get put on there and just glued down at the edges, and we'll have a belly band. So let's do the other one. All right, let's add these on as belly bands. Go like that right there, and grab my glue. Put a little glue along this edge, and a little glue along this edge. same. Let's hold this open so we can line them kind of up together. So now we can stick something in there. And in there. All right. And I was thinking of doing more of the washi, and this one's interesting. It's got butterflies and flowers on it, I think. So not exactly, it doesn't exactly scream Halloween. Alternatively, we could go with, let's see, is this wide enough? Just a black line. Let's see. This one I also picked up at Michael's. It's just got little spots on it. And make this a decorative element. Kind of liking that idea. Okay, so I went ahead and pulled out some stuff to decorate these 2 pages with. And I'm debating right now whether I want to add a magnet here or not. So this is not sticking up as much as the other one was, so I think I'm going to forego adding a magnet to this one. I've pulled out some bits and bobs, and let's start with this side. And these are all by my Porch Prints. I'll leave a link down below. Let's grab a dauber and just add a little bit of brown to the edges to disguise any white showing from my fussy cutting. And I think for the bottles, I'm gonna use a purple dabber. So I'm just using the ink that's on there. It doesn't really need any more ink added to it to cover up the white edges, and you don't have to ink your edges. That's completely up to you. I do it mostly to hide any white showing from poor job fussy cutting. So my thought was, what I'm gonna do is put that there, add the leaf behind, and the little label sticking out like so, just to add a little bit of interest. But actually, before I do that, I had a thought of something I wanted to do. Let me grab, it's a script stamp, and it's from Reflection CMS 111, and I am going to use some hickory smoke and just kind of lightly add a little bit of scripty stamping to the background, just to add a little bit more interest. Let's set that aside for now, and we'll go ahead and glue down our little bits. And then basically the same thing down here. And did I ink these edges? I don't remember. And so I pretty much went with the same formula for the top envelope and the bottom envelope for 2 reasons. One, because they're, you know, you're gonna see them together. It kind of brings some unity to the 2 pieces. And also it just makes life a little bit easier if you know, opt for a little bit of a formula. Like I had pulled out the label and the bottle, and I was like, it needs something else in there. And I was like, ooh, let's put some, you know, sorting through stuff. And I was like, oh, I think those leaves will work. And so we add those in as just a 3rd element, because odd numbered clusters are more visually appealing than even numbers, so I didn't want to just have the bottle and the label, and that covered up the bit of writing that's on there. I really think I'm just gonna leave those plain. I may come back and add like a label at some point. And now for this side, I pulled out, we're gonna add our washi tape first, and I'm just gonna do a line of glue down our center and put our washi tape. And actually, let's stop the washi tape where those lines stop. Trim that off. And I am gonna use my bone folder, if I can find my bone folder. Right in front of my face here, to kind of help press that down so it stays stuck on. And then do the same thing over here. Line of glue down the middle. All right, need to add glue again. And then I'll trim off the excess over here. And that covered up the words completely. And I'm gonna come in and do some of that stamping again. Just adding a little bit more interest to the background, keeping it nice and subtle. All right, I've got these, I think are from Liana Scraps kit. These are Polka Art Studios, I think. So we're gonna do her there, and then her kind of sticking out of the back pocket like so. Her word above. And then these stamps are freebies by Artymaze. So I'll leave links to everything down below. So that's what we're gonna do for these guys. So let's ink edges and glue everybody down. Definitely gonna do purple on the edges of these. And I think I need to pull out my Villainous Potion Distress Ink. And for these two, I'm gonna grab a scratch piece of paper, grab my brush and my antique linen, and just give it a once over to knock back the white along the edges. Up here. So these I use my scan and cut for, and sometimes to ensure it doesn't do weird cutting, I have to do kind of the bubble cut, and even then it doesn't always get it exactly even around, but it does result in a far less fussy cutting for me, which is good because all of the fussy cutting I had been doing was killing my back and my wrist and my shoulder and all the parts. I am definitely using my scan and cut more now that I've moved it into this room and it's not in the other room. That was part of my craft room redo. All right, so we're gonna tuck her in and let's just go ahead and glue her down. And I really kind of like how that stripe's looking on there now that we put the washi in the middle. So yeah, you don't always have to completely cover up your junk mail envelope if it's got, you know, it's mostly blank like this one. I'm hoping I get more of these in the mail because I really like them. Yeah, it's really, like, looking at it, it's kind of bugging me right now that there's nothing on here. All right, I'm gonna take a second and pull out a couple things and just put a little bit of decorating down in like that corner on them. So give me a minute. Okay, so I followed a similar formula, found an image, a stamp, or a faux stamp and a stamped bit that we're gonna add on here. So let's start by inking these guys with my antique linen. And these are all from that same, I think it's Polka Art Studio kit. And I'm gonna ink these edges and the edges of the stamp with my Villainous Potion. And these, I don't know if these are from the freebie or from an Artymaze kit, but they're by Artymaze as well. All right, let's glue everybody down. I'm going to trim a little more out because I really want to be able to see the R in registered. What I'm going to do is lift her up and put a little bit of glue there. Stick her back down, and now I can lift the whole piece up and glue it all down together. All right, so we are done. And now we have got 1, 2 pockets over here. We flip open. We've got belly band. We could do 1 long tag and have them flip together, or 2 smaller pieces. And then on this side we've got, all right, and so we've got 1 long pocket there, and I think I may decorate this to go into this journal because it's been in my stash for a while and it fits perfectly there. 2, 3, 4 pockets on this side. So we took 2 junk mail envelopes, turned them into flip outs with a total of 6 pockets. So that's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, please do all the things that lets YouTube know you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave me a comment down below. Thanks for joining me, and happy crafting.